Hello and welcome back to The Note, coming to you today from the Mansion House in the heart of the City of London. I'm here at a conference on inclusive capitalism, which is very much the topic of the day thanks to the controversy that's been generated over the book Capitalism in the 21st Century by the French economist Thomas Piketty. He alleges that inequality is increasing. So I started by asking my guest, who exactly is being excluded by capitalism today? He's the former US Treasury Secretary and also a Financial Times columnist, Larry Summers.
I'm not sure capitalism is excluding anybody, but it's not doing as well by the average citizen. In the United States, in 1965, 19 out of 20 men between the ages of 25 and 54 were working. Today, we're down to 6 and 7 are working, and it's going to be about that way even when the economy has fully recovered.
So, how do we make capitalism more inclusive then?
Education is part of it, greater public responsibility for supporting kinds of employment for which there may not be an easy for-profit model, but which are immensely valuable, whether it's repairing the potholes in our highways, providing companionship to those in the sunrise and sunset of life who don't get what they should from a traditional family. There's much that government can do to put people to work, but we're going to need to recognize that government is an integral part of a capitalist economy rather than treating government as a necessary nuisance.
Okay, there are lots of things that government can do, but I guess the big question with lots of people worried about the fiscal deficit is, can governments afford to do them?
There's a separate issue, John, which is how much should be financed with debt and how much should be financed with taxes. And the right answer to that question will be different in different countries at different times. In countries where there's substantial excess capacity in the economy, my work suggests that the right kinds of government spending programs can actually pay for themselves. That in a zero interest rate environment, crowding out is very unlikely. That by getting the economy going, you avoid the risk of deflation, which can be very costly indeed. I think the question may be closer to saying, can we afford not to, in terms of the consequences of social exclusion, the consequences of stagnation, the consequences of simply putting off liabilities. You know, people speak as if borrowing money is doing something that's not affordable, but deferring maintenance is doing something that's eminently affordable. Both are putting burdens on the future budget. And so I think we need to take a much broader view of what constitutes budget deficits as we think about government action.
So for a final question, at the moment, the entire debate over inequality is overshadowed by the book Capital in the 21st Century by Thomas Piketty. Do you agree with his basic idea that inequality is gradually increasing over time and that there is a flaw in capitalism that will make that happen?
Piketty has provided a very substantial service by all the data that he has published and by putting forward so clear and striking a hypothesis for a variety of reasons: diminishing returns with respect to capital, the fact that the rate of accumulation is unlikely to be constant or independent of the growth rate. I don't think his particular theory of rising income or wealth inequality captures the dominant forces that are involved. I think those forces have more to do with technology and with globalization. I also have seen the recent questions that have been raised about his data analysis, and in general I wonder whether the way to understand the next generation is really to go back 300 years, given the inevitably fragmentary data that's available for those periods and given the extent of the structural change that has taken place.
Okay, Larry Summers, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.